People talk about universal consciousness, collective consciousness, or Christ consciousness. Sometimes people use different names but refer to the same entity. At other times, people actually do describe different types of entities. But people are used to being exclusive. Their belief would include just a few types of entities, and if you bring up another one, they claim that it doesn't exist. Well, I believe there exists many different types of entities. And so most people who talk about entities probably are referring to one of the types. But sometimes they refer to the same type, but just use a different name for it. Today, I would like to talk about one type of entity. And before I do that, I need to talk about collective consciousness. What does it mean? What is collective consciousness? It means that there is a collection of people, and somehow their brains are linked together, and it's like there is this bigger entity. All of these people's brains are like neurons, a part of the brain of this overall entity. I believe that there are many different collections of people, certain combinations, and they collectively create or emerge a higher brain, an overall entity, and different collections emerge different ones. So there are many entities which are based in collective consciousness idea. For example, there could be an entity which is overall all the people on the planet, like a planet consciousness. Or there could be an entity that is like over all the universe, like the universal consciousness. But there are also many different ones. I'm getting my ideas from my spirit guides, although I don't personally use that name. I say it this way because most people will then understand what I mean. And the spirit guides always tell me that it's difficult to explain reality, and that I can only learn it in small pieces, and that later things will have to be tweaked to make the information more accurate. So I'm giving it out as it comes, and sometimes later I get to revise it as more information comes and I realize that I didn't quite understand something right. So this is from my latest understanding. I would like to talk about one entity. It's possible that this entity is like the higher self idea, or is like an overall soul idea. But this is related to collective consciousness also. But in order to explain that, I need to explain something else first. There are many different universes which exist now. They are different from each other. They have different laws of physics. I would like to focus on our universe only, with our laws of physics. This universe in which we live will eventually die. But before it dies, another one will be started or created or seeded, and at some point that one will evolve like this one. Except things could be different in the new universe. People would have made different choices. Perhaps your parents never get married and you never get born. So it's like a parallel universe idea, except they happen in sequence instead of simultaneously. So, in some universes, you will be born. Also, you exist beyond the span of many universes. You keep living as universes are born and then die. And because of this, there are many different versions of you which exist at the same time. They are all currently in our universe in other locations. But each version of you is different in age. It takes a long time before each version of you is born. So, since you were born in this universe, that means that the previous version of you has been living for a very long time, since she was born in some other previous universe. Okay, so now that you know that, we can get back to talking about the entity which I wanted to talk about. I call it your immortal self. Many people believe in a higher self entity. Some believe in the oversoul. I have a feeling that we are talking about the same entity in this case, but I call it the immortal self because I believe this is a more accurate description. Or I guess the immortal higher self would also be accurate enough, or an oversoul would be also accurate. I just like the immortal self. So I think that people believe that higher self consists of many other people. But I believe that your immortal self consists of many versions of you. Your immortal self is a collective consciousness entity. It consists of many versions of you. Whenever you're born, you're identified as being a part of that entity. It's like you have the same soul DNA or something. You're linked to that entity. So your immortal self consists of many of you, but each version of you is at different stages of evolution and different ages. Think about your human self for a moment. You also consist of a baby you, a child you, a teenager you, an adult you, an old man of you, and you are different during each of your stages, and yet similar to your overall self. So your immortal self consists of many of you. You are basically very similar to each other. You may have made different choices in different universes, and your lives may have turned out different, but overall you have a very similar personality linked to your soul DNA, so to speak. But even if you made different choices, it's still you. All of you are still like you, and when you get psychically developed, you can connect to your immortal higher self, and you can perceive yourself from the perspective of your higher self. You can also download the memories of your other versions and see and feel what they saw and felt. So in this sense, there is not much difference between you guys. Any one of you could think of themselves as any other version of you. What is you? Think of a person who lost all his memories. How this person will react to things. This is you. So memories are just like data in the program. The program runs and collects different data. You is a program. Or you are a program. And memories and experiences are like data. So this you only lived this life. But when you integrate psychically into your higher immortal self, it's like you lived many lives and you made many choices. So it's like you will be seeing yourself from the perspective of your higher immortal self. And this is not about reincarnation and living many lives as different people. That is something different. So you, this version of you, born in this universe, is special because you are the only baby in the collective at the moment. All other versions of you are much older and much more evolved. But everyone likes a baby, right? It's so cute and adorable, and people like to see it. So you are a cute and adorable part of your higher immortal self at this time. And besides, the lifetime of each version of you is so long that they eventually can forget some of the memories of their beginning. So it would be fun for them to observe themselves as a child in you, through observing you. There are many people and beings your other versions have met during their existence, and they are closely connected to each other. They are families, friends, and soulmates. And so whenever you were born, all these people know you as a part of their family, so to speak. You are someone's soulmate, you are someone's family, you are someone's friend. It's true that it wasn't this you exactly, but it was you from the parallel universe. And since their experiences and memories will become yours, and since you will evolve to be just like them in personality and behavior, you will be just like they are, the same thing. Imagine your beloved, and then imagine that he cloned himself, and now there are two of him, and imagine that all the memories and experiences, they're all the same. So they're like two identical people, there is no difference. Would you love one more than the other? I don't think so. I think you would be able to love both the same. So it's kind of the same idea. At some point, the personality evolves to basically be the same as in the others. Memories and experiences are shared, so it's all the same. But you are the baby of the family. You are special. Everyone likes a baby. Imagine a family and a new baby that's arriving, and everybody gets so excited. You are special because you're the baby.
Midnight moonlight shining through the curtain lace paints a perfect picture on your perfect face. One sweet angel sleeping in my arms